The Teen Phantom. This is the prelude. The concept of the Resolute Youth for Truth column the Teen Phantom wrote at the beginning of the year, caused an awakening and serious concern among both parents and children. It was the first time the Teen Phantom had voiced an opinion in the political field. Here is the way it reads. Concept of the Resolute Youth for Truth. We have just ushered in the new year. It is the year of perfect vision. Perhaps it is for some, but for the most it is just a time of indecision and chaos. It is also the full return of primitive behavior. It is just the year 2020. The greater part of humanity scoffs at truth and they feast on lies and deceit. Family values have disappeared. It leaves the honest and loyal in a small minority. True patriotism is just something of the past. Many viruses endanger our physical being. Meanwhile, the mutation of our society secretly takes place. It is by a virus which mutates justice. Some call it liberalism and others just call it a way of thinking. In essence, when freedom has more value than justice does, there is no justice. Freedom is a very misunderstood word, as when you destroy justice there is no freedom for the just. The New World Order mystifies some and enrages others. People who claim to be Christians anticipate it with great fear, and they do have good reason. Being very opposed to the New World Order, the United States loyalists fought for a great cause. It was for the heritage of that great freedom, but it was with the success of a mouse challenging a cat. The loss was crushing. Some Americans have come to realize that their forefathers mortgaged their homeland and the heritage of that great freedom beyond recovery. It was many years ago. Maybe it would be more accurate to say foolish and following politicians sold them out. The world bankers have far more equity than the American people do. We call it controlling interest, and as a result true freedom is only a memory of the past. A conspiracy or destiny, call it what you like. There are those who have had it in mind many years ago to develop a united world or one world government. It would be an advanced government to duplicate the United States. Shocking as it may seem, the United States will be the designer and give it power. Who really has the power to dictate? It is neither man nor military power, nor is it a constitution. It is money, as one can buy anything with money, and perhaps the most tragic is the purchase of injustice. Wealth, or the greed for it, has replaced all principled code of ethics. You may think the chaotic governments of the world are the greatest dilemma the human race confronts, but the tragedy is much closer to home. We ourselves could be our worst enemy. What is in the mind of the beast that walks on just 2 feet? It thinks it is superior to all others. Why is it so destitute of the desire to have a happy, peaceful and successful life? Should such an intelligent species just be ignorant? Ignorance is something we are all born with. If we have no desire to fill that void, it deems our short existence on this earth worthless. Again, maybe a destructive spirit has caused some to be demented, but it is more likely that their own emotions have tricked them. Desolate of facts and truth, emotion is our prime enemy. Emotion will encompass you with prison walls. It will put you under slavery and bring about your death. If not a quick one, a slow one, with the power of lies. Thinking your body and mind are indestructible to all disadvantages with which you burden it. You never just lie and deceive others, you lie and deceive yourself first, and with great ease and justification. Kids, do not ignore reality. Know what is going on in this world. Do not expect your parents to plan your future, as trying to figure out their own future will keep them busy over time. If you have honest and considerate parents, they will be pleased with your determination to reach for your purpose in life and your worthwhile future. They will even encourage you. Do not forget the earth is depending on us. If we do not make it happen, who will? Keep your letters coming, especially if you disagree, and it does not matter what your age is. Ask yourself, am I really happy with my life? Are you living the way you would like to live, or are you just trying to get in tune with our mutilated and crumbling society? Addiction to this senseless and erotic society is the same as addiction to drugs. It may be shocking to some to learn that religion is not the answer to a successful life. Many try to use the church or a minister as a crutch to stabilize their lives. Neither will solve your problems. Truth and facts will solve all your problems before you create them. Living by truth and facts is a personal relationship with your great Creator, whether you realize it or not, and for that accomplishment, you must be in control of your spirit and the actions of your own life. Those who seek their happiness and contentment in others will never find that for which they search, because it lies within our own spirit. Remember, we obtain a successful, meaningful, and happy life only by reason and purpose in everything we do or say. At the bottom of the column, it says, by the Teen Phantom. Here is how the life of the Chapman family begins. It is rather strange how most people think the Teen Phantom is a boy. Charlotte and her father speak as though the Teen Phantom is a boy. All the public knows is that the Teen Phantom is under 18 with no intention of ever making a public appearance. Charlotte's father asked her if she thought the Teen Phantom should be a politician instead of a journalist. She quickly assured him that the Teen Phantom is of better use disclosing the facts and truth, not trying to con and hoodwink the people. She also let her father know that Terry would take care of the political campaigning. It would be without intention of gaining a public office. She is the little girl that lectures and puts on a show in Denver. Some think her residence is on the outskirts of London, England. Conversely, and strange, after her show she flies often to the southeastern region of France, and there is the possibility she may live in Ireland. The Chapman family may be slightly eccentric and different from other families. Jane and Charlotte's parents are not divorced. They just live independent lives. Jane and Charlotte live very independent lives. It is not that it is their choice, it seems their mother wants it that way. Like it or not, Jane is hers and Charlotte is his. Jane's name is Ada Jane. Their mother is the only one that calls her Ada Jane. Jane and Charlotte address their father as Dad and their mother as Mom. It is strange how this came about. It is to Charlotte as many of her friends address their parents as father and mother. Charlotte is a little girl with many names. Her mother gave Charlotte her first name, Sasha. Charlotte's father gave her middle name, Charlotte, and when at home their father and Jane usually call Charlotte, Tyke. She has acquired a few other names, perhaps because of her behavior and lifestyle. Then there are those who seem to enjoy calling her the little 10-year-old brat. Her age is as shaded as the rest of her life. There is not much she can do about it, as sometimes she is devious. The way she sees it, she may be a brat, but she is not just a 10-year-old. Some think of Charlotte as a little rebel boy in a little girl's body. Some see her as an adult in disguise posing as a little girl. There are those who think she is too involved in adult affairs. However, Charlotte has never thought adult affairs as being any different from children's affairs. She thinks it is okay for adults to live in the shade since she lives a shaded life herself. It may be a little more honest to use the word shady. Charlotte does have many secret activities, that is, the rest of her gang and she does. Charlotte is sure her mother blames her father for her shady life. They do nothing to harm anyone. As weird as it may seem for teens, they do nothing suicidal such as doing drugs, smoking, or use alcohol. Though Charlotte is pleased with the great life she lives, at times it seems harsh, cruel, and a bit frustrating. A few years back, Charlotte was sure her parents had adopted her. She thought her mother and Jane were beautiful. They have black hair, a fair complexion, tall and slender figure. Charlotte looked nothing like them. The way she sees herself, she is just a scrawny, freckled face, red-haired little Irish girl. There was a time in life Charlotte realized she looked a little like her father. It was when he was 10 years old. His hair was not so red, he had a fair complexion except for a few freckles, he was slim but rugged with firm muscles, all sort of like Charlotte. Then later Charlotte was certain that she was a child her father had with another wife. Her mother claimed her, but she thought Charlotte should have been a boy. Her parents had assured her that she was not a child her father had with another wife, since her father never had another wife ever. Charlotte thought it was so strange her mother does not treat her like a daughter. Charlotte's mother has never given her a hug. Charlotte's mother is not mean to her though. It does appear that her mother treats her father badly because of Charlotte. Charlotte finally dismissed all of her speculation and concern of her origin. Even if she blew in on the wind, she was here now and she was very happy with her life. Perhaps Beth Benton, their cook and housekeeper, is more of a mother than her mother is. Beth is sort of a nanny. Charlotte thinks she looks more like Beth than she does her mother. Charlotte doesn't let herself consider all of those possibilities. Those thoughts are very unpleasant, if not downright disconcerting. Charlotte has spent much more time with Beth than she has with her mother. In fact, she doesn't remember ever spending time with her mother. She knew Beth loves her very much. Charlotte feels very close to Beth. Beth is Barney's wife. Barney is their gardener and handyman. Since Veracity took possession of Charlotte's brain, she is resolute and very content. She lives her life a little shady but with purpose. She considers it successful. It matters not what others think. Both of Charlotte's parents seem to think she has had a mind of her own since she was 2 months old, whatever that is supposed to mean. Secrecy seems to be a major trait of Charlotte's and her father's life. Her father has a small lab and workshop in the basement. A secret opening and passage leads to a large underground lab and workshop. There are a few other secret rooms and corridors. Charlotte and her father are the only ones in the family that know of the secret rooms, and Nikki has access to everything. Nikki is Charlotte's closest friend and bodyguard. She is a few years older than Charlotte. Neither Nikki nor Charlotte drive, but they have no problem getting where they want to go. Bonnie Stone, Charlotte's personal chauffeur, is always available anytime they need her. Charlotte's father has gone with them on some of their wildlife movie expeditions, but he has not been with them for the last 2 years. He has been so busy seeking students for the school. Charlotte's mother has never been with them. She is negative toward most of Charlotte's activities, though she knows little to nothing about them. Charlotte's mother will have nothing to do with camping out. She is a city person. She doesn't like their nice home here in this great forest either. She lives mostly at school. Their school property borders the Gunnison National Forest. Charlotte's mother usually spends 24 hours a day at school, as their whole family has their own living quarters at school. Charlotte and her father seldom use their school living quarters at night, and Jane does not use it much lately either. The school is very large, but they do not use much of it. There are 4 long 2-story buildings in a row. They have basements also, and the basements are totally below grade. There are 4 students to each unit, and it has 4 unique little offices adjacent to each living quarter. All of the 4 buildings have the same design. Charlotte's mother was demanding. She expressed it with a stormy statement: "My students will not be using computers." She needed classrooms, so Charlotte's father set up desks in some of the conference rooms, as her mother's demands must be appeased. Charlotte was as determined to use a computer as her mother was determined not to, but Charlotte didn't need to make a ruckus, as her father was of the same mind as she was. Charlotte's mother would have been devastated if she had known Charlotte had been using a computer since she was 4 years old. In the past, Charlotte and her father needed to keep the secret from her mother, but now it was time her mother faced some of the facts about her little girl. It was the way Charlotte's father saw it, and he took a firm hand, setting things the way he thought it should be, now. In the privacy of Charlotte's little office, she begins to gain her education on another computer. It was not for long in privacy, as her father wanted her to help some of the slower students. He set Charlotte up with a few small desks in the 3 other offices and her living quarters. The students did not have their private computer. They shared the 3 computers in the other 3 offices.